With spring in the air, I often find myself reminiscing on some past captures and walking around a few venues with the first rays of sunshine, getting prepared for the mindset of the years angling ahead. I'll always re-spool my reels in the spring, make sure that everything's fresh and strong, and go through my tackle and make sure that everything's sharp and ready for the season's angling ahead. Couple of buckets of fermented particle. Bubbling away nicely. I'll often get some bait prepared. Boilies are really convenient. With my short sessions and limited time, I find myself using them quite a lot. I can prepare them in quite a few different ways, and one way that I really like to do so is by taking a little kilo out for when I go fishing and just scalding it with hot water just to defrost them a little bit faster. It really gets the juices going, and adding a few different liquids and oils for extra attraction, especially when the water's still a little bit cold. I like to think about what venue I want to fish throughout the spring, and I tend to sort of travel light. I don't take too much kit when I go fishing anyway, but I always sort of try to stay clear of the bigger low stocked venues. It can be great, but them sort of venues tend to wake up a little bit later, so I often focus my spring and say early spring on somewhere where there's probably a few more fish and it's a little bit smaller, just where you just know there's a better chance of a bite. Park lakes are preferably the sort of venues I like to target throughout the winter. They're sort of got a place in my heart really, and living in London I've got a few local parks that do fish well in the colder months. I often in my spare time will go down and trickle a little bit of bait in and try and keep in tune with a few different venues at one time. I often will go out lamping, have a little look, see if I can see any fish feeding in the edge. I take minimal kit, like I said, just little bits of bait and the essential tackle items that I need. With using high quality attractive oils on my boilies and high attractive hook baits, I often find that I can really maximise my chances when fishing these short sessions. When I can't get out fishing, I often find myself sending out hook baits for other anglers and spending some quality time with my children. One of the lakes I'd been keeping an eye on and trickling a bit of bait into really started to wake up. I'd done a little bit of time on this lake a few years ago, and I knew that it was always a great time to be on the bank when you see these signs. So I've been putting a little bit of bait in. I knew roughly some good areas where the carp liked to hang out during the early part of the year. And it didn't take long after baiting for a few weeks that I thought I'd drop in and have my first session. Often than not, the carp would give away signs that they were there. There'd be big slicks coming up on the baited area, and you'd start to get a few liners when they were in the swim. My first bite came with the rod only being out there a couple of hours. To my surprise, it was a really nice common. There's lots and lots of grow-on commons in this lake now, and I'm really after some of the old mirrors. And I was over the moon with this one being over £30 on a really cold February evening. With the swim well established and fishing most evenings, I started to keep the bait going in and really getting something consistent going. The only downfall was so many of these small commons. I really thought that it was going to be such a hard task getting through to some of the old mirrors. I'd caught quite a few of the mirrors in this lake in the past, but there was a handful of carp that I really wanted to catch. It didn't take long till one of them really nice old mirrors was going to slip up. There's such unique carp in here. They're just full of massive starburst scales, and with no stocking history, it's just just the type of carp that I really like fishing for. It's a real pleasure and treasure when you catch carp like that. I often got rods out in quick succession, and one evening it really did pay off. With amazing hook holds and a fish really on the bait, I just knew that it wouldn't be long until one of the real targets that I was after was going to be in the bottom of my net. And this amazing mirror carp was my first 30-pounder of the year. What a lovely old fish. With the mirrors being so unique but all lovely, beautiful and scaly, it was just amazing to be getting it amongst some of them throughout the early spring. There was one fish in particular that I really wanted to catch though, and it had evaded me over the few seasons and years that I'd fished the lake. But one magical evening, that particular linear managed to slip up. I had a great springs fishing and landed multiple lovely mirror carp. Ryan even got in on the action. He managed to catch one of the lovely mirrors after having a run of lots of small commons. What a lovely way to end a short little spring campaign.